Morning, students. Yesterday we discussed how to calculate electric field due to a long straight conducting wire, a long straight charged wire using Gauss law. Right? Today we are going to discuss how to calculate the electric field due to a long uniformly charged cylinder. Long uniformly charged cylinder, right? By using Gauss law. So here, this is a cylinder, a long cylinder. This is the natural axis of the cylinder. Axis of the cylinder. Or radius of the cylinder. The cylinder of radius R. It is very long, right? So R is the radius of the cylinder. And some charge is given to this cylinder. This cylinder is either conducting cylinder or hollow cylinder. Whenever charge is given to this, where the charge comes, as it is a hollow cylinder, whatever charge we give, the charge comes onto the surface of the cylinder, comes onto the surface of the cylinder. It is on the surface of the cylinder, right? The charge distributes uniformly on the surface of the cylinder as shown in figure. As it is a hollow one or conducting in the sense metal. If you give charge, the charge comes on, right? If it is a hollow, charge whatever given, that comes onto the surface like this. So the total charge accumulates on the curved surface of the cylinder, right? So here, whenever this type of bodies are given, the charge is distributed uniformly on the surface. So for this type of bodies, they give surface charge density. So for this cylinder, surface charge density sigma. Surface charge density is sigma. We know the formula. Surface charge density is charge by area. Charge by area. Yesterday we discussed, right? So for this cylinder, they give surface charge density is sigma. Due to this cylinder, at some point, what is the electric field, right? Now, I take a point here. Here I am taking a point. Let P is a point. Where that point is located at a distance smaller from the axis of the cylinder. Whenever we are dealing problems with cylinders and spheres, we take the distances from the center. If it is a cylinder, from the axis. For the sphere, it is from the center, right? From the axis, this point is at a distance R. You are asked, what is the electric field at this point? Electric field at this point. Where the point is, if you see, it is not inside, it is not on the surface, it is at outside. So P is a point at outside of the cylinder, right? So they clearly mention in the problem. Find the electric field at a point outside of the cylinder, right? P. At a point outside of the cylinder. At this point, we need to find electric field, right? Well, so for that, we are going to apply Gauss law. To apply Gauss law, there are few steps. Yesterday we discussed. First, what we had to see, what is the direction of the electric field? See, due to this cylinder, due to each and every charge on, that electric field acts in this direction along this radial vector in this direction, perpendicular to the curved surface, right? So field here is in this direction. At every point, if you see here in this direction, here in this direction, here, if you come onto this side in this direction, like that. So it is radially outward, right? First step is over. So here, field direction, okay. What is second step? So field is same at a distance r from it. So second step is assume a Gaussian surface passing through that point. If I assume a Gaussian surface passing through this point, see here, now I assumed a Gaussian surface like this. This is the Gaussian surface. Which is passing through this point P, enclosing that cylinder, part of the cylinder or cylinder. This is Gaussian surface, right? So I draw the Gaussian surface. Right? So how the Gaussian surface is? Gaussian surface. It is like a cylinder. Gaussian surface. We have to draw a Gaussian surface by taking the axis as the center. Right? So the Gaussian surface comes like a cylinder as shown in figure. Second step completed. Then what is the third step? Assume a small element. See, whenever this Gaussian surface is like a cylinder, let its length is L. And what is the radius of the Gaussian cylinder? R is the radius of the Gaussian cylinder. So a Gaussian surface is drawn. Let E electric field at P, which acts radially outward, which acts radially outward. Then what is the second step we follow? Draw a Gaussian surface is drawn. This is second step. A Gaussian surface is drawn. What is the Gaussian surface? Gaussian surface is drawn. It is a cylindrical surface. Cylindrical surface. Second step, okay. Then consider a small elemental area. Third step, small elemental area here. ds. What is the area vector? In this direction. And for this plane surface and this plane surface, these are the area vectors if I consider a small elemental surfaces. And field direction, at every point field direction is like this. So for this flat surface, flux is 0. So there is a flux through this curved surface. So how the electric field lines comes out? Through this curved surface in all directions, in this direction, in this direction, in this direction. Field lines comes out from the curved surface, right? So then what is the flux? According to Gauss law, total flux phi is equal to integral E dot ds, right? Integral E dot ds. Integral E dot ds. Through which surface it is? Only through curved surface. For this surface, pi 1 0. For this surface, pi 2 0. Only for this curved surface, you have the flux. So phi integral E dot ds, right? What is this? This integral E dot ds is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. Directly I am writing. We know flux is equal to E dot ds, which is Q enclosed by epsilon naught. Is this clear? Well, then this is E same at each and every point on the curved surface. If you take a curved surface here, 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 at every point on the cylinder, E is same, right? So E ds cos 0. E same, I take it out. E ds cos 0. Why 0? Between E and ds, here angle is 0. So E integral ds cos 0 is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. Is this clear? Next, E, okay. Integral of ds. Which surface? This Gaussian surface. For this Gaussian surface, what is total integral of ds represent? total surface area of this curved surface. Surface area of the curved surface 2 pi r. See, for this total Gaussian curved surface, radius is r, length is l. Then surface area is 2 pi r into l. Now Q enclosed. This is very important. This part of the Gaussian, this part of the cylinder is enclosed in the Gaussian surface. Only this part. This part in the sense, part of length L, whose radius is R, enclosed in this Gaussian surface. Right? Surface charge density is sigma. What is meant by surface charge density? Charge per unit area. So for this area enclosed, what is the charge? From, if you see this much charge is enclosed in that. What is that charge? Q. Area enclosed into surface charge density. Right? Or you can see here, Q is equal to sigma into A enclosed. Sigma. What is the area of this cylinder enclosed? Its length is L because it is only L part of it is enclosed in. Its radius is R. It is a hollow cylinder. Then what is its area? Sigma into 2 pi capital R into L. Is this point clear? Charge enclosed. Area of the cylinder enclosed into charge density. Area of this cylinder enclosed. From here to here, the cylinder is enclosed in the Gaussian surface, whose length is L. From here to here, length is L. This radius is R. As it is a hollow cylinder, what is the area of the surface? 2 pi r capital R into length 2 pi r L. This is the area enclosed and this is the surface charge density. This gives total charge enclosed in a cylinder by epsilon naught. So this is a very important point to understand, right? So what are the cancellations on both sides? 2 pi, 2 pi, L, L. Then what is E? What is E? Sigma capital R by small r here. If it comes this side, small r into epsilon. This is the field due to this charged cylinder at this point P. At this point P, which is at a distance R from the center, right? It is an entrance question. You won't get it in boards. It is an entrance question. That is why I just simplified here, right? So first, what is the procedure? Any body is given. First, at the point P, see what is the direction of the field. First point. Second, draw a Gaussian surface. Second point. Third, find out the flux through that Gaussian surface. Flux. According to Gauss law, that flux is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. What is Q enclosed? The charge on this part of the cylinder enclosed. Right? So that is area of that cylindrical part into surface charge density. Sigma 2 pi RL by epsilon naught. Right? Here, integral ds cos 0 1. This ds is for what? This ds is for Gaussian surface. This Q enclosed refers to body. Remember this. This Q enclosed refers to this body. This ds refers to Gaussian surface. Okay. Then you get the answer. E is equal to sigma r by small r into epsilon naught. Okay. Come on, note down. Well, next. So here we take a point outside the given cylinder. This is a point outside the given cylinder, right? Another point. If the point is on the surface of the cylinder, if this point is on the surface of the cylinder, then what happens to that formula? Second, at a point on the surface, right? See, if this is the cylinder, given cylinder, if this is the given cylinder, this is the axis. Axis of the cylinder. Now, where the point is? The point is on the surface. On the surface. Here. Here is the point. On the surface of the cylinder. See the cylinder of radius r. Now, from point to the axis, what we are taking? Smaller. In previous case, you just observed. From the axis to the point, we are taking the distance as smaller. When the point lies on the cylinder, smaller is equal to capital R. This distance from the axis to the point is smaller. When point lies on the cylinder, this smaller is equal to capital R. Just in that formula, substitute smaller is equal to capital R. Then E is equal to sigma. On the surface, immediately what to come to your mind? The distance r is equal to capital R. Sigma r by, in place of smaller, sigma r by, in place of small r, take capital R into epsilon naught. R get cancelled. Then E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. This is the field on the surface. Simplest shortcut. Once you find the field at outside, that is the formula. E is equal to sigma r by r epsilon naught. When the point comes onto the surface, distance is equal to radius. Simply substitute it there. E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Right? Third case. Point inside, at a point inside at a point on the surface of cylinder. This is point inside the cylinder. Point inside the cylinder means if this is the cylinder given brass, long cylinder, that is why I am representing with the dotted line, axis. Now here is the point inside the cylinder. This is radius. R. Point is here. Inside the cylinder. If you take the point inside, see, whatever the charge is given, the charge is distributing on the surface, right? Charge is distributing on the surface because here the cylinder what we took is a hollow cylinder or a conducting cylinder. Metal cylinder or conducting cylinder or hollow cylinder. Charge is given. Charge resides on the surface, one of the important point. So here, where is the charge? The total charge is on the surface. Inside, is there any charge? Whatever the charge is given, the charge is on the surface. Charge is on the surface. Inside, there is no charge. So if you draw any Gaussian surface here for finding the flux, if you draw any Gaussian surface inside, this is the Gaussian surface. If you draw this Gaussian surface inside this Gaussian surface, is there any charge? There is no charge because whatever charge on the cylinder, it is on the surface. Inside, there is no charge. Inside the hollow or conducting cylinder, there is no charge. So here point is taken inside. So what is Q enclosed? Q enclosed is 0. Q enclosed is 0 because in this Gaussian surface there is no charge. Q enclosed to 0. According to Gauss law, integral E dot ds is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. If this Q enclosed is 0, E integral of ds is equal to 0. Or you want to find Q enclosed 0, 0 by epsilon naught, 0. If E integral ds is equal to 0, E is 0. So inside a hollow or conducting cylinder, what is the electric field? 0. Remember, on the surface, sigma by epsilon naught. At any point outside, sigma capital R by small r into epsilon naught. Right? So entrance question it is. Just remember. Right? Note point this is. E inside. E is 0. Come on, note down. Next. Well, see, they asked the graph. See, now there are 3 points. For conducting, again and I am telling you, for conducting or hollow cylinder, point 1, point outside, point 2, point on surface, point 3, at a point inside, what is E? Here E, sigma capital R by epsilon naught small r. See the formula we derived? Point outside, is it not the formula? Point on the surface, E, sigma by epsilon naught. Is it not the one? Point inside, E is 0. Right? They ask a question. What is the graph? R and E. R is what? Distance from the axis. R. Distance from the axis. Capital R. Radius. E. Electric field. Right? So I divide it into parts. See, if you take the cylinder, if this is the axis, from the axis we are taking distances. If point is P, this is R. Point is P, this is R. Point is P, this is R. So from the axis we are considering the distances. From here to here, we consider inside. From here to anywhere, we consider outside of the cylinder, right? So inside portion, outside portion on the surface. So inside at any point, this is point 2, inside point 3, there I mentioned. On the surface, point 2, outside point 1. See, point outside 1, point on the surface 2, point inside I took it as 3. How it is? Point inside wherever you see. Here, R is equal to R. R is equal to R means what? On the surface. So this portion tells you inside. Information regarding inside. This portion tells you information regarding outside. Right? See, inside E is equal to 0. So even from the axis, R is increasing up to the surface, there is no field. No field at all. No field. So even in the graphs, they represent like a dotted line or they exclude it because there is no field inside. From the surface, outside point starts. Outside, if you see here, sigma R by epsilon naught R. Can I write like this? E is inversely proportional to R because sigma is a constant, Kepler is a constant, epsilon naught constant, then E is inversely proportional to R. So at any outside point, it is like this because E is inversely proportional to R. Inside point, E is equal to 0. So sometimes in the entrance, they ask the graph. So to draw the graph, what you need to remember? These formulas. Right? Come on, note down. At any outside points, E1 by E2 is equal to R2 by R1. On this one also, we get the problem, right? Because E is inversely proportional to R. Then at a point R1, at a distance R1, field is E1. At a distance R2, field is E2. Then E1 by E2 is equal to R2 by R1. We can write, right? Come on, note down. See, for entrance point of view, for this cylinder, conducting or hollow, this table is enough. Just remember this table. You can solve any problem related. Okay, next. See, yesterday, a long wire, due to this long wire, at this point, at a distance R, what is the electric field? If I ask, E, sigma by 2 pi epsilon naught R. Yesterday we derived this. Sorry, lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. What is lambda? Linear charge density of the wire. Charge per unit length or linear charge density of the wire. Lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. Okay. Sometimes they give this formula. Can I write like this? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught lambda by R. I just multiplied and divided with 2. What happens? This is 2 into 2. 4 pi epsilon naught 2 lambda by R. So E is equal to 2 lambda 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. If you take it as K, 2K lambda by R. Right? So on this, generally we get some problems. If any other charge is placed here, some charge Q is placed here at this point P, a charge Q, is placed at P. What is the force acting on that charge? What is the force acting on that charge? If I place a charge Q at this point P, what is the force acting on that charge? See, direction is this. Okay. What is the force acting on that? Force acting on any charge in the field is EQ. Force acting on a charge when it is placed in an electric field, F is equal to EQ. Here, what is E? 2K lambda by R. So, 2K lambda by R into Q. So, F is 2K lambda Q by R. What is K here? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. A simple problem. It's a problem based on line of charge. Tomorrow we discuss some more. Okay? Thank you. When you are coming